for a law firm, you get a lot of appraisals, a big one anyway. And then one time, oh gosh, they were getting a divorce, which I hate divorce appraisals. I hate them. You never can be, you're always caught in the middle. And it was a very hot August day. It was in Moorestown also. And it was so bitter that she told me that she actually was going to have a policeman there while I'm there, just in case her husband would show up. So I said, okay, that's fine. So the police was there, and we went around. She came with me, and we followed all around the room. And then the next thing you know, we went upstairs and did that second story, and then we went up in the attic. And the attic, of course, was hotter than hell because there was no air. And we get up there, and the next thing you know, her husband shows up, and he comes roaring up the stairs, and he starts screaming at her. And they didn't have anything in the attic anyway, except cheesy Christmas ornaments and stuff you wouldn't even put out of the yard sale. And the two of them, I was standing there, and you couldn't stand up straight except in one part of the attic. And I'm standing there, and he's here and she's there, and they're like 2 inches away from my face, screaming at each other. And I said, now you two stop it right now. I said, you're going to break my glasses for one thing. I said, no, stop it. I said, now I am leaving, and you can fight all you want once I'm gone. And the policeman was down in the stairs. He didn't come up. And I thought I was going to get hit. I really did. I was afraid. I really was afraid I would get my glasses broken. So they calmed down, and they knew I was bad, and they calmed down. And I told him, I said, you're going to get a bill whether you get an appraisal or not. So he did calm down. But that was scary. I'm telling you that you would never believe the stuff people had. Well, let me tell you something, talk about the business. Martha Ann, a month ago, went to a yard sale, and she was the first one there, thank heavens, in Avalon. And she bought for $55 Show and Hut, a partial Show and Hut circus. Do you know what a Show and Hut is?
Yes.
You know, he was a Philadelphian maker. He was from Germany, and he made wonderful wooden toys and circuses particularly. And he also had a museum in Philadelphia. And she paid $55 for the whole thing. Now the animals sell in good shape, anywhere from $150 to $200 a piece. Now, even. And she gave the man a $100 bill, and she said, you make change, and she whipped it right out, put it in the back of a wagon, covered it with a blanket. She didn't want anybody else to see it. She just sold part of it. She has left 8 animals she has, and I think there were around 15 animals. And she just sold, and it was not in good shape. She had all her animals that she wanted to keep. She had them all restrung and refurbished, and they're beautiful. She just got them in the mail this week. And she sold the rest. It didn't cost her a cent.
Are they here or at the shore?
They're here. They're here. She's going to put them under a tree at the Christmas time. And she sold the rest as is, and one of them was missing a head, and they all needed to be cleaned and restrung and painted. $800.
Wow.
I didn't know what he had. Didn't know what he had.
Have you ever seen the British television show about the antique dealer?
Antiques Roadshow?
No, his name was, what was it?
I know almost all those dealers who were on the Antiques Roadshow.
Lovejoy.
Oh, Lovejoy, oh yeah. Yeah,
Now, is that anything what the business is really like, or is that all made up?
it's all made up, but Lovejoy's, you know, he's a character in the novels. He's
Right.
It's a book. It's a series of books.
About an antique dealer?
Yeah, about Lovejoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what it used to be one of my favorite shows. That's why I was asking you whether it's.
Well, you ought to read the books.
I will.
No, the Antiques Roadshow, I did know almost all the dealers there. So, and listen, did you ever watch it?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
I did, although I didn't understand enough about it to really
Yeah.
appreciate it. And
Well, that's the problem. That's the same way with the guy who sold Martha Ann that's showing us.
one
He
of
had
these
no
days, one of
idea.
these days, I need to take you down to the Camden County Historical Society so you can look through and see what we have, because
Well, I do it for the
I know that we are.
Haddonfield Historical Society. I do their appraisal.
I know we are way underinsured,
Undervalued?
and I mean, I don't even know what the stuff is worth. I think we have $250,000 in.
That's it?
Is it? Yeah.
Is that all the insurance you have?
No, that's all we have for damage to antiques.
That's it?
That's it. 250,000.
Well, when I did I've done the appraisal a couple times at Haddonfield.
At the Gill House.
There. But they felt that they had a lot of stuff that was overpriced. And they did. And they wanted to lower their premium because the insurance company had raised the premium. And so I did that for them. And
Well, I learned you can insure anything for anything if you're willing to pay the premium.
well, that's true, but
Yeah.
they weren't willing to pay the premium.
They were trying to lower their annual
and
cost.
trying to lower their budget, sure.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know, it's and it's true. Well, of course, insurance is nothing but daylight robbery.
You don't remember
anyway.
what the furniture they had was valued in the
Where?
in the Gill House that they managed.
In what house?
At the Haddonfield Historic Society of Haddonfield,
Yeah.
of course, they have a library,
Yeah.
and then they have an old house.
Right. Yeah.
I think all the antiques, furniture and stuff, is in the old house. That's what you appraised, right? You didn't try to appraise their papers that they hold.
No, but they were only in the historical society itself. But you would be astonished what they had in the attic that was just donated. They really had no use for it, although it was very lovely stuff, because they only want stuff that's pertaining to Haddonfield,
Right.
and rightly so. And I told them years ago, I said, I said, you want money? I said, send this to auction, have an auction here. And they did have it. They did okay.
Well, when we go, we have an elevator, so you can go up and down. You don't have to go up and down steps. I'll take you down to our basement. You wouldn't believe all the stuff we have just sitting there.
It's incredible.
We don't have any room to display it, and it probably just ought to be sold, don't you think, Kevin?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I went to an auction sale
It's
years
just sitting there
ago.
collecting dust.
Well, I went to an auction sale years ago at the
Camden County
Camden
Historic
County,
Society.
and that is where my balances were over my windows in the living room, the lacy wooden balances. That's where I bought them, at that auction
Oh, interesting.
there. And I wasn't about to leave them in the house, and I had no use for them here. So I took them down and I sold each one for $75.
Yeah.
Got rid of them. Now originally they had the wooden Venetian blinds,
Right.
but they were shot.
Yeah.
I couldn't do anything with them. But that place had a huge auction then. That was years ago. And all the dealers came and they bought, and we all bought. When I say years ago, I'm trying to think. Did you know Bob DeWeese?
Bob who?
Bob DeWeese.
No.
The Dead DeWeese Typewriter Company. He was, I think at that time was treasurer or something, and he instigated that auction. That had not been appraised, but they had an auction, and it was an excellent auction, it really was. They couldn't use all the stuff for one thing, and people would even give them some Victorian horsehair sofa. Who wanted that, you know?
I think we have several of those.
You know.
Some of the stuff we can't sell because was
I
given.
know you can't.
It was given to us by the Boyer family as
Right.
part of the thing, and you have to keep it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right,
But,
exactly.
Lawyer trust.
but a lot of the stuff in the basement, that could all go probably.
Well, one thing they had that I thought was spectacular in the attic of the Haddonfield Historical Society was a prison made, a war prison made ship made out of bits of wood and any ivory he could find. It was magnificent. It was made during the War of 1812.
Charlotte, do you want to get out of the sun? You're right.
I don't know where it is now. I told
No, I said, do you want to get out of the sunlight? You're right in
Oh,
the.
I'm fine. I can